want to see him. I don't care. I want to talk to him.
But you can't just come barging in here.
It's all right, Casey. What's on your mind, Mike?
Murder.
Did you really have to ask?
Professor Wiley's murder.
Professor Wiley.
The guy who got himself blown up in his car at the university last night.
Oh, yes. Well, what about him?
This about him. What's the story doing on page 2?
Oh, I don't know, Mike. After all, Thompson is the managing editor.
And you're the publisher, so I'm asking you.
Careful, Mike.
Don't you careful me, Miss Case. I was with Henry Reed when he started this newspaper. I figure I've earned the right to speak my mind. And I'll tell you this. Your father knew what sold newspapers.
Yes, he did, Mike, but times have changed. We now have a television station downstairs as well as the presses.
Murder is still murder, and still rates page 1 in my book, and he'd say the same if he was here. He was a battler. He was fighting crime in this city when everybody else was sticking his head in the sand.
And what did it get him, Mike? Framed for murder by the syndicate? Death from a broken heart in a jail cell?
He never complained, did he?
No, he didn't. But we all fight in our own way, Mike. My father fought in his way. I fight in mine.
Fight? That's it. You don't fight.
Oh, come on, Mike. Just because Wiley's story didn't appear on page 1.
What if it turns out the Green Hornet's involved in this killing?
The Green Hornet?
What makes you say that, Mike?
I just got a hunch.
Nothing more than that.
Well, no, but...
Well, Mike, you see, I think this Green Hornet is becoming an obsession with you. Oh, there's no denying that the man is a menace. And the sooner he's caught, the better. But I don't think we can lay every crime at his doorstep. Now I gotta run. I have a luncheon appointment. See you later, Mike.
If something should come up, where will you be?
At the club. No need to panic, Mr. Smith. After all, we are both on the same sides of the law.
Just cut us in on your racket. That's all we are after.
Racket? Now, gentlemen, what racket?
Oh, come on, Smith. Don't let's waste time. The setup Professor Wiley accidentally invented for you.
Brainwashing.
Yes, well, that's one name for it. Subliminal instruction is the other. But instead of teaching people French while they sleep, you had the idea of mixing other forms of information with the music.
Like orders for very bad stock market transactions?
Yes, very bad for them, very good for you, and very inventive. And then when your plans started to sour, you came up with the idea of hypnotizing them into committing murder. Take Peter Vane. We just talked to him. The man's a zombie. He hasn't the slightest memory of what you hypnotized him into doing.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, come now, Mr. Smith. If you and I are going to be partners, there should be no secrets between us.
Everything on a table where we can all see it.
Yes, like the murder of Professor Wiley. You killed him when he discovered how you were using his invention, and he was going to blow the whistle.
Next, Jennings.
Oh, Jennings. You think I killed Jennings, too?
No, not you. One of your zombies knocked him out in the office to throw off suspicion.
It's getting late, boss.
Give him the contract.
Contract? What contract?
50% of your take to us.
Or else.
Or else what? You go to the police? You?
Not me. A man named Axford, a reporter on the Daily Sentinel. I've written him a complete account of your recent activity.
What?
And a messenger is waiting to deliver them to Axford.
In exactly 4 minutes, he'll be on his way.
Unless he gets other instructions from you.
Oh, you're bluffing.
There's one way to find out. Now stop trying to prove you're a brave man, Mr. Smith. Sign the contract.
I think it's easier for me to tell you what Green Hornet will not be. It will not be an imitation of Batman. I would caution anyone not to try to imitate Batman. Green Hornet will stand very much on its own as an action adventure with plenty of exciting gadgets and gimmicks for the youngsters at 7:30. It'll be done with elegance and a style all its own. I believe a style that will match Batman's style and a result that will match Batman's result, but entirely unique unto itself. So those of you who have batted 1,000 with us at 7:30 on Wednesday and Thursday nights, get buzzing with us on Green Hornet at 7:30 next year on Friday.
The famed Green Hornet comes to television. Watch the advanced premiere of the Green Hornet in color 1 week from tonight here on ABC.
There's a hornet, a green hornet ring in packs of Lay's potato chips. Put on the official Green Hornet ring and share his adventures with him. There you are, with the Green Hornet and his companion Cato as they zoom off in Black Beauty to fight evil doers and bad guys. With your official Green Hornet rings, identify yourselves as Green Hornet fans. Join him in his fight for justice and other good things. There's a hornet, a Green Hornet ring. Free in bags of Lay's potato chips. Another flavor favorite from Frito-Lay.
You'll speak to me, Miss Case.
You come back here. You've got no right to come barging in here.
It's all right, Casey. What's on your mind, Mike?
Murder.
Did you really have to ask?
Professor Wiley's murder.
Professor Wiley?
The guy who got himself blowed up last night out at the university.
Oh, yes, I remember. What about him, Mike?
This is about it. What's the story doing on page 2?
Well, I don't know. After all, Thompson's the managing editor. Why don't you ask him?
And you're the publisher, so I'm asking you.
Careful, Mike.
Now, don't careful me, Miss Case. I was with Henry Reed when he started this paper, and I feel it gives me the right to speak my mind. And I'll tell you this. Your father knew what sold newspapers.
Yes, he did, Mike, but times have changed. We now have a television station as well as presses.
Murder is still murder. And it still rates page 1 in my book. And your father would say the same thing if he was here. Now, he was a battler. He was fighting crime in the city while other people were sticking their heads in the sand.
Yes, he was, but where did it get him? Framed by the syndicate for murder? And death from a broken heart in a jail cell?
Well, did you ever hear him complain?
No, I didn't. But we all have our own way of fighting, Mike. Dad fought in his way, and I fight in mine.
Fight? But that's what you're not doing. You're not fighting.
Oh, come on, Mike. Just because the Wiley story isn't on page 1.
What if it turned out that the Green Hornet were involved in this killing?
The Green Hornet?
What makes you say that?
Well, I've just got a hunch.
No more than that, Mike?
Well, no, but
Mike, I'm afraid the Green Hornet has become an obsession with you. Not denying the man is a menace, and the sooner he's caught, the better, but I don't think we can lay every crime in his doorstep. And now, if you'll excuse me, I am late for a luncheon appointment. I must run. I'll see you later.
Oh, where will you be in case something comes up?
Down at the club. No need for panic, Mr. Smith. After all, we're both on the same side of the law.
Just cut us in on your racket. That's all we are after.
Racket? Now, gentlemen, what racket?
Come on, Mr. Smith. Let's stop wasting time. That setup you invented for Professor Wiley?
Brainwashing.
That's one name for it. Subliminal instructions is another. But instead of teaching people French in their sleep, you had the idea of mixing other forms of instructions in with music.
Like orders for very bad stock market transactions?
Bad for them, but good for you. Very inventive. But when things started to go sour, you even hypnotized him into committing murder. Take Peter Vane. Now, we just talked to him. The man's a zombie. He hasn't the slightest idea what you hypnotized him into doing.
I don't know what you're talking about.
If we're going to be partners, Mr. Smith, we mustn't keep secrets from one another.
Everything on a table where we can all see it.
Such as the killing of Wiley. You murdered him because he found out you were using his discovery and threatened to blow the whistle.
Next, Jennings.
Oh, Jennings. You think I killed Jennings, too?
Not you, not directly. You had one of your zombies cut him out, throw off suspicion.
It's getting late, boss.
Give me the contract.
Contract? Now, what contract?
50% of your take to us.
Or else.
Or else what? You go to the police? You?
Not me. A man named Axford. He's a reporter for the Daily Sentinel. I've written him a complete account of your current activity.
What?
And a messenger is waiting to deliver it to Axford right now.
In exactly 4 minutes, he'll be on his way.
Unless he receives further instructions from me.
Oh, you're bluffing.
You'll find out, Smith. Don't be a fool, Smith. Stop trying to convince yourself you're a brave man. Sign the contract.
The Green Hornet has been brought to you by
ABC, where I'll be seeing you in the Green Hornet. I am Bruce Lee, inviting you to join me every Friday night on most of these ABC stations.
The Green Hornet. That legendary nemesis of crime with his loyal companion Cato thrilled most of us as kids in one of radio's longest runs.
Let's push this aside, Cato, and go through. I'm with you, boss.
The incredible Black Beauty slices through the night with the Green Hornet and Cato at the wheel. Why is this man sought by those on both sides of the law?
Money means my life. I've got to get away.
Tell me who has the gun and your life is guaranteed. By me.
You have my word.
Let me warn you about the Green Hornet.
I could flood the world diamond market with your perfect imitations. I could make you millions.
He's not the two-bit kind of thug you're used to dealing with. He's clever and he's dangerous.
Master criminal or brilliant crime fighter? Who is the Green Hornet? The Green Hornet in color on ABC.
And now, exciting scenes to come on the Green Hornet. Each week, ride with Cato and the Green Hornet on their relentless fight against crime. Black Beauty withstands a hail of bullets and spits back. A laser beam becomes a killer's weapon. The Green Hornet duels with death from the sky. For these and other action-packed scenes, tune in to the Green Hornet.
What's this? Viewers turning off your station? Then have we got good news for you.
Just get ready for the biggest news story of the year.
It's a program that will put a charge in your lineup. Ignite your station's ratings. Help you kick your competition. And make your station money. Do you know what half-hour program can do all this?
I think I do.
Doesn't everybody?
The Green Hornet!
The Green Hornet. Green Hornet.
Green Hornet.
The Green Hornet.
At your service.
One of America's greatest action-packed vehicles is rolling again. Starring Van Williams.
I'm Britt Reed.
publisher of the Daily Sentinel, and owner of this television station.
Who, as the Green Hornet,
Let's roll.
will help you sweep the sweeps.
I want to eliminate competition.
The legendary Bruce Lee is Kato, the Green Hornet's able-bodied sidekick.
I've been an ardent admirer of yours for quite some time.
The legendary Bruce Lee is still very popular among teens and kids, according to TVQ.
That's what's important. For a part of immortality is that one is remembered.
And remembered he is. In 1986, Bruce Lee was ranked 12th among kids.
Marvelous.
And would you believe his Q score placed him above Paul McCartney, Leonard Nimoy, and Larry Hagman, just to name a few?
I not only expect you to believe it, I insist upon it.
These are the facts, pure and simple.
And who can forget the Green Hornet? 26 half hours of great programming flexibility. Ideal as a summer strip.
I think so.
Or on weekends.
Isn't there some other way you can do this?
Sure, in its own marathon.
Hey, that's a great idea. I think at last we found what we've been looking for.
If you're looking for a program to solve problem time periods, the Green Hornet is the answer.
A neat solution to my problem, wouldn't you say?
Well, that's too bizarre to believe.
You think so? Then we'll prove it to you.
Thanks. How are you coming with that research?
Well, another crime fighter.
B-A-T-M-A-N.
Running as a morning strip in Chicago on WFLD, KO is competition.
This needs more research.
Oh, just hold on to your horses, because on KTXH in Houston, they did the same thing in the afternoon.
What?
And in Madison, they so excited their Sunday morning viewers, the competition was left with egg on their faces.
We got a fortune riding on a deal, and you're watching Batman.
And why not? Everybody loves Batman. And just watch what the Green Hornet will do.
The rumor is out the Green Hornet is in our fair city for a piece of the action.
When there's action, I like to be in on it.
And action is only one part of the story. With two great vehicles. Plus 4 masked crime fighters. Adding up to great old-fashioned television entertainment.
And I can see its potential for the future.
Meaning what?
Meaning programming that will help make your ratings climb.
What are you doing here?
The dynamic duo of dynamic duos.
Pursuing the enemies of law and order wherever they happen to be.
Nice to have met you.
Gosh, Batman, what are they dressed like that for?
Batman and the Green Hornet. Available now from 20th Century Fox Television.
Shall we get down to business?
And now, stay tuned for scenes from the final episode of Beautiful Dreamer. An unwilling Peter Eden takes a partner. But can Eden be trusted?
No!
And $750,000 becomes the stake in a life or death race. Be sure to join us for the final episode of Beautiful Dreamer. Next week, same time, same channel.
It's misfiring. Some of the circus bus is shorted out.
Here are some exciting scenes from next week's final episode of Invasion from Outer Space.
Why did you activate the Hornet signal? You're leading him right to us.
Precisely, Martin.
You must be mad.
Don't ever say that to me.
I'm getting out of here.
I've got it.
You're gonna tell me where Maboose is and the warhead.
He's gone, and if we don't get out of here right away, we'll be blown sky
Then we'll
high.
be blown sky high. Where is he?
Don't miss this final episode as the Green Hornet battles to save the city from atomic destruction. Next week, same time, same channel. Last week, Dr. Eric Maboose and his followers blasted their way into Britt Reed's house, claiming to be the crew from a disabled spacecraft.
kidnapped Miss Case and overcame Britt Reed and Cato. Learning that Dr. Mabuse was a former atomic scientist and that he planned to hijack an H-bomb missile warhead, the Green Hornet and Cato followed the scanning signal activated by Miss Case, rescued her, and, after assuring her safety, resumed pursuit of Mabuse.
Cato, we're dealing with a man of infinite brilliance and infinite madness. He publicly urged the use of nuclear weapons against aggressor nations. He may have some insane scheme to drop an H-bomb on a foreign country. If he does and they retaliate, our entire country may be at stake.
But Dr. Mabuse had already hijacked the Air Force convoy and armed the H-bomb warhead.
Before you do anything foolish, Major, I must warn you. I've armed the warhead.
Who the devil are you?
If you make any move to defend yourselves, I shall blow us all to kingdom come. If I press this button, the device on the side of your truck will detonate the warhead. At this range, every man, woman, and child in the city will be instantly annihilated. You have a technical officer with you. Let him examine it. Look, Captain. Don't touch.
Could work.
Not only could work, Captain, but I assure you, it does.
If you think you can get away with this, you're crazy.
Vama!
With us next week for the concluding episode of Corpse of the Year, when Britt Reed is attacked by a deadly pretender.
Garth? Garth?
And pays an accusing call on Sabrina Bradley, barely escaping a noose of entrapment.
You and your partner better stop playing games.
Put your hands up. Keep them up and don't try any tricks.
Then faces a showdown in a duel to the death. Juggernaut against Juggernaut. Next week, same time, same channel.
Night, Annie.
Good night, Mr.
What's the matter?
Look. The Green Hornet.
In last week's episode of Corpse of the Year, a second, more deadly Green Hornet exploded onto the scene in what appeared to be a plot against Britt Reed and the Daily Sentinel. The pretender committed his violent depredations in lethal fashion.
He's dead.
But who could be behind this scheme? Might it be Simon Neal, publisher of the rival Daily Express? Or Sabrina Bradley, his ambitious managing editor? Or perhaps his niece, Melissa Neal? Or Darth, society buff? Or Dan Scully, dissatisfied reporter for the Express and friend of Britt Reed's? But then, during a gay party at the palatial home of Playboy publisher Neal, it happens again with a strange twist.
Look! It's the Green Hornet!
Hello, Mr. Reed. You and the Sentinel have wanted to have a showdown for a long time now. And now you're going to have it. Goodbye, Mr. Reed.
It's your fault. You're the one the Green Hornet meant to kill, not Uncle Simon. It's all all your fault!
I think this phony Green Hornet got the man that he intended to kill, Simon Neal.
Well, what about all the attacks on the Sentinel?
It was just a smokescreen, Frank, a cover-up to make everybody believe exactly what they do believe, that Simon Neal's death was just a tragic accident.
To make it so open and shut, the police wouldn't even bother to investigate.
Exactly, the perfect murder, if it worked.
Yeah, but who, Britt, who?
I told you that Dan Scully suspects that Sabrina Bradley was the one behind the attack.
I can't move on anything as flimsy as that.
That's right, you can't. But the Green Hornet, the real Green Hornet, can. And he's going to.
Green Hornet actually only ran for one season. It aired opposite the Wild Wild West, which just killed the Green Hornet in ratings. So by the '67 season, it was gone. Now, as for the actor who played Green Hornet, well, here's a clip from Tuesday's episode of Personal FX. Co-host John Burke was interviewing Green Hornet memorabilia collector J.R. Goodman when a surprise guest dropped by.
Do you ever talk to the Green Hornet, Van Williams?
Yes, I do. In fact, would you like to talk to him now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey ho! Oh, it's the Green Hornet.
Right.
How are you? Nice to see you.
Doing a little reminiscing around here?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Man, this looks great. Did you have a lot of fun working on the show? Seems like a lot of fun.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. Bruce and I were we were really good friends, and we would joke around, and most of the show was stunts, so we did most of our own stunts and had a ball.
How do you feel when you watch the old Green Hornet episodes?
Yeah, it makes me feel good. I think the production values in this show are as good as anything that's on right now, and they got a real loyal fan following, and these people are just great. They know as much about the show, if not more, a heck of a lot more usually than I do.
And the kicker is you're still in law enforcement today, huh?
Right. Still work with the Sheriff's Department. I've been with them for 24 years, working patrol and mountain rescue, and still do a lot of work with them.
Band Green Hornet, hey, thanks for coming out.
Sure thing. Thank you.
Real honor.
The Green Hornet packs a good punch, but his sidekick is even better.
Why?
Don't miss Bruce Lee.
They just might. That's a good possibility.
And Van Williams in the Green Hornet.
How else would the Green Hornet make an entrance? Where and when?
We'll let you know where and when.
Saturday mornings at 8 on Action.
It's the Green Hornet!
The original series comes to Sci-Fi.
Let's roll, Kato.
With an entire day of butt-kicking action.
Would that be enough time? It has to be.
The Green Hornet Marathon continues next, only on Sci-Fi.
Delivering vigilante justice with stinging fists. Beware the buzz of the Green Hornet. Coming up next. Part of Comic Book Heroes. Right here on HNI.
Voici encore un nouveau défi pour le Frelon Vert. Il est assisté par Keto et sa voiture gadget, la Belle Berthe. Dans les archives de la police, on trouve le nom d'un criminel, le Frelon Vert, qui n'est autre que Britt Reed. Il est éditeur et propriétaire du Daily Sentinel. Sa double personnalité n'est connue que par sa secrétaire et le procureur Scanlon. Et maintenant, pour protéger les droits et les vies des honnêtes citoyens, le Frelon Vert va agir.
Le Frelon Vert? Mais pourquoi? Oh.
Restez calme, on ne vous fera aucun mal.
C'est parfait. Voici 4 000 $ qui sont pour vous.
Pourquoi?
Si je vous donne le double d'argent que le Daily Sentinel.
Pas un geste surtout, et ne bougez pas. Ah, c'est le Frelon Vert. Il a tué Rainer.
El avispón verde. Con Van Williams y Bruce Lee. El rayo mortal. Funciona. La pistola. Lista. El zumbador. Vámonos, Cato. $1,500,000 es el valor de esas obras maestras, pero están en el mercado con el precio de descuento de $1,000,000. Estuve esta tarde en el departamento de Reed. ¿Es posible? ¿Él le dijo que tenemos las pinturas? Exactamente, por eso estoy aquí. No creerá que somos tan tontos como para tenerlas aquí. Solo quiero mi parte del bote.
Frank, dobbiamo cercare subito quell'uomo e ho il sospetto che non saremo i soli a farlo. Di certo avrà minacciato qualcuno, perciò lo troveranno e lo faranno tacere per sempre.
D'accordo, dirò alla polizia che cominciamo le ricerche.
Bene. Cato?
Sì?
Va a parlare con Mary Chang. Scopri se sa dove è nascosto Jimmy Key.
Va bene. Ah, una cosa. Se succede che incontriamo un'altra volta quel tipo del Kung Fu, me ne occupo io.
Puoi scommetterci.
Dozier promised Bruce that he would keep him in mind for his next project, one based on a classic radio drama from the 1930s, The Green Hornet.
They wanted to offer Bruce the part of Kato, but that wasn't going to happen until the following year because they wanted to make sure that Batman worked. So there we were, now having moved to Los Angeles, and Bruce didn't have a job.
Bruce Lee didn't have to wait very long.
To the Batcave.
Batman became a national phenomenon, and within weeks, Dozier began prepping the Green Hornet.
No need for panic, Mr. Smith. After all, we're both on the same side of the law.
Just cut us in on your racket. That's all we are after.
Racket?
It's getting late, boss.
If we're going to be partners, Mr. Smith, we mustn't keep secrets from one another.
Everything on a table where we can all see it.
Impressed with Bruce's screen presence, if not his acting, ABC network executives accepted Dozier's choice of Lee as Kato, the crime-fighting chauffeur.
And now, to protect the rights and lives of decent citizens, rides the Green Hornet.
When the show premiered on Friday, September 9th, 1966, Bruce Lee leapt onto the screen and into stardom.
He went from being a martial arts instructor to someone that everybody watched in prime time in North America. No one had ever seen anything like that. Soon the fan mail Bruce was receiving was outpulling that of the star.
Starring in the role of millionaire newspaper publisher Britt Reed, alias the Green Hornet, was a dashing all-American heartthrob named Van Williams.
No more tricks, Carly. I'm here to talk business.
The thing that impressed me about him then is, as always, was his intensity. You know, he was very, very intense.
You know, if we ever meet up with that masked Kung Fu man again, I want him.
But a very nice gentleman.
Take it easy, miss. We won't hurt you.
From that moment on, Bruce and I kind of started working on a friendship all through the series.
After years of financial insecurity, Bruce was now a regular in a network TV series. And although his role was secondary to that of Van Williams, he was determined not to play Kato as a subordinate.
He didn't want any chopsocky or pigtail or bowing and scraping and that kind of thing, the way that Chinese had been portrayed. So that was his rule, that he would not do any roles demeaning to the Chinese culture.
A perfectionist, Bruce worked hard to make his fight scenes as authentic as possible.
Kung Fu is Kung Fu. It's not child's play.
He soon learned the compromises required when filming for television.
We had to slow up his action because we found in the test that he was moving too fast for the speed of the motion picture film. People may not realize he could have been faster than he was.
as campy or colorful as their caped counterparts.
Wholly uncanny photographic mental processes.
The Green Hornet and Kato failed to catch on with primetime audiences. In a desperate effort to save the show, Dozier and ABC concocted a face-off between Batman and Robin and the Green Hornet and Kato.
No Batmobile. Good. We can get some work done first, and fast.
And the original script was that he gets into a fight with Robin and loses.
Holy split seconds, let's go.
Well, he just went right through the roof. And he said, there is no way I'm going to get into a fight with Robin and lose. Bert had told everybody, you know, he's a big black belt and big tough guy. And Bruce had heard all about this. So he was going to play his Chinese water torture game on him. He let out little words. He was going to get this guy. And Bruce comes in and he gives him the silent treatment, you know, and he's grumbling around and this and, you know, Bert thought he was just going to lose his temper and just destroy him. Adam said that Bert Ward was just shaking in his shorts. He was so scared that Bruce was going to take after him.
Ultimately, the producers ended the battle in a draw to avoid upsetting fans of either show.
None too smart for a smart crime fighter?
Are we just letting them go, Batman?
But it didn't matter. The Green Hornet was canceled after just one season.
Now, Bruce, just look right into the camera lens right here and tell us your name, your age, and where you were born.
My last name is Lee, Bruce Lee. I was born in San Francisco in 1940. I'm 24 right now.
And you worked in motion pictures in Hong Kong?
Yes, since I was around 6 years old.
And when did you leave Hong Kong?
1959, when I was 18.
I see. Now look over to me, Bruce, as we talk. I understand you just had a baby boy?
Yeah.
And you've lost a little sleep over it, have you?
3 nights.
And tell the crew what time they shoot the pictures in Hong Kong.
Well, it's mostly in the morning because it's kind of noisy in Hong Kong, you know, around 3 million people there. And so every time when they have picture, it's mostly, say, around 12 a.m. to 5 a.m. in the morning.
I see. They'd love that there. And you went to college in the United States?
Yes.
And what did you study?
Philosophy.
I see. Now, you told me earlier today that karate and jiu-jitsu are not the most powerful of the best forms of Oriental fighting. What is the most powerful of the best form?
Well, it's bad to say the best, but in my opinion, I think Kung Fu is pretty good.
Would you tell us a little bit about Kung Fu?
Well, Kung Fu is originated in China. It is the ancestor of karate and jiu-jitsu. It's more of a complete system and it's more fluid. By that I mean it's more flowing. There is continuity in movement instead of one movement, two movement, and then stop.
Would you look right into the camera lens and explain the principle of the glass of water as it applies to Kung Fu?
Well, Kung Fu, the best example would be a glass of water. Why? Because water is the softest substance in the world, but yet it can penetrate the hardest rock or anything, granite, you name it. Water also is insubstantial. By that I mean you cannot grasp hold of it. You cannot punch it and hurt it. So every Kung Fu man is trying to do that, to be soft like water and flexible and adapt itself to the opponent.
I see. What's the difference between a Kung Fu punch and a karate punch?
Well, a karate punch is like an iron bar, whang. A Kung Fu punch is like an iron chain with an iron ball attached to the end, and it go whang, and it hurt inside.
Okay. Now we're going to cut, and in just a second we'll have you stand up and show us some Kung Fu and some movements in Kung Fu.
Okay.
Cut.
Got it. Test X2, take 1. Speed.
Now look directly into the camera, Bruce. Directly at it. And now give me a 3/4 this way. And hold it. And give me a profile that way, all the way. Good, hold it. Now come back to a profile on the other side. And hold that. Give me a 3/4 on that side. And then give me right into the camera again. All right, now the camera will pull back. And Bruce, first show me the movements in the classical Chinese theater.
Classical Chinese
Well,
theater.
you know what we talked about in the office. How they walk and how they start to move.
Well, in Chinese opera, they have the warrior and then the scholar. The way the warrior walk will be something like this. Walking this way, straight, come out, bend, straight, and then walk out again. An ordinary scholar would be just like a female, a weakling, 90 pounds in Child Atlas. You'll be just walking, you know, like a girl, real, shoulder up and everything.
And so by the way they walk, you can immediately tell who they are.
Right, what character they represent.
Now, show us some Kung Fu movements.
Well, it is hard to show it alone, but I will try to do my best.
All right, maybe one of the fellows will walk in. You want to walk
Yeah,
in?
it would be...
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Come on, lady.
Okay. Although accidents do happen, but you know, there are various kind of strike. It depends on where you hit, then what weapon you will be using. To the eyes, you would use fingers. Don't worry, I will. To the eyes, or straight at the face, from the waist, everything on.
Hold it just a minute. Let's move this gentleman around this way so you're doing it more into the camera. Okay, swell.
And then there is band arm strike, using the waist again into a back fist.
And let's have the assistant director back up just a ways. Okay, go ahead. Continue.
And then, of course, Kung Fu is very sneaky. You know, the Chinese, they always hit low. From high, go back to the groin. Don't worry.
Now turn around the other way, would you, Bruce?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And,
Would you want him?
yes. Cross
These
the
are
camera
just
forward.
natural reactions.
That's
Right,
it.
right. That
All
is
right.
natural.
Right into the camera. Cheat into the camera a little bit and show this again.
All right.
Go ahead.
There is the finger jab. There is the punch. There is the back fist, and then low. Of course, then they use leg, straight at the groin, or come up. Or, if I can back up a little bit, they start back from here, and then come back.
All right.
It's kind of worried.
He has nothing to worry about. Now,
No.
once again, show us how a good Kung Fu man would very coolly handle it and walk away, rather than get involved in a series of actions.
Cut it. Sound.
Okay.
Test X2, take 2.
Now, Bruce, so that we can clearly see what you're doing this time, we'll face the fact that there's nobody there.
Okay.
Show me now the difference between Jiu-Jitsu, which is long and involved, and Kung Fu, which is very quick if you have an opponent.
All right, for instance, you will read it in a book, in a magazine and everything, that when somebody grab you, you will first do this, and then this, and then thousands of steps before you do a single thing. Of course, these kind of magazine would teach you to be feared by your enemies and admired by your friends and everything, see? But in Kung Fu, it always involves a very fast motion. Like, for instance, a guy grabbing your hand. It's not the idea to do so many steps. Step him right on the instep. He'll let go. This is what we mean by simplicity. Same thing in striking and in everything. It has to be based on a very minimum motion so that everything would be directly expressed. One motion, and he's gone. Doing it gracefully, not to go, yelling and jumping all over him, but to do that. Excuse me, that's it.
Okay, now show me once again just a few movements there.
Well, Kung Fu can be practiced alone or with a partner. Practicing alone, they involve forms. Some imitate a crane, a monkey, a praying mantis. This is a crane form. Start off. This is one of the movement involved.
Show us one more movement and then we'll be all through.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that. They have the tiger that start like a tiger, using claw to claw the face, or the beak of the crane to the eyes, move. This is some of the movement involved.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
To protect the rights and lives of decent citizens rides the Green Hornet.
Let's roll, Cato.